Hey everyone, how is everyone doing on this Tuesday night? I assume you all are having a great end of September week, last week of September. All right. Um, I'm taking it easy. I went out actually like few times over the fucking weekend. I mean, Sunday, Monday, I think, which is basically when I watch football. It's the football season now, NFL. So I'm gonna stay in until like fucking Friday, Saturday, not going out. Too much too much, what do you call, of like just going out. I mean, what else can you do? I mean, you're living by yourself. Your wife is not here. Then it's the fucking weekend, right? What can you do? And then you're out with some friends, whatever, right? And I don't know. I watched a couple of games yesterday. What was the game? It was the Commanders, Washington versus fucking Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals, right? So I bet some money on them on FanDuel, right? And also on Jaguars. But then both of the fucking teams lost. But I think I made some money on one of the players, Bengals players, right? Here's the fucking problem with like something like FanDuel, right? So FanDuel is basically it's like DraftKings, right? Where you bet on sports, right? But they don't let you withdraw the fucking money. The money you win. I don't understand. Is that how all the fucking gamblers become like fucking addicted and they become fucking crazy? Is that what it is? Never. I never fucking did the gambling and all that, you know. But who doesn't need money? I need money, especially like what's happening now. These fucking 40 days up to elections. It seems like, the projects that actually I sent the proposals for new ones, right? Nobody is signing the contracts. You know why? Because I think they're just afraid to fucking spend money. Who knows what the fuck is going to happen in the next 40 days? I think that's what it is. I mean, I don't want to sound negative, but I'm trying to be realistic. So, uh, and then, this is fucking like the life here is just like, okay, so you are here in America, right? Your wife is not here and you're working, but then there's no fucking money coming in. That's the other hassle, the other biggest hassle. Hold on a second. Sorry, my wife is calling me. Say, I'm doing my podcast, okay? Okay, sorry. So I apologize. I had to turn off the video because my wife was just like, "Oh, don't talk about personal things." No, I don't. Try not to do that. Um, Obviously, it's not easy for us to not be together. So she's feeling it, and I'm feeling it, and I love her, whatever. Uh, the circumstances we are in now, and that fucking travel that actually made us like fucking, I think, sort of like not too happy, because what we had planned didn't happen. But in any case, so without getting into fucking details and all that, without going into fucking past, because my problem is that I live in the fucking past, the negativity and bullshit, right? So let's just, talk about something that's, well, I don't know. I mean, I say, okay, let's talk about something positive, and then, and then, we have this fucking thing going on where volatility is so high. There's a fucking war going on now, really, in Middle East. Everybody's talking about that. And obviously, the war in Ukraine has always been going on for the last fucking 2, 3 years, right? And I'm hoping that nothing else blows up, because like if there's no peace in the fucking world, I mean, it doesn't affect us directly, like the Middle East, right, and all that, but obviously indirect effects, impacts. Not good. I mean, any fucking war, any fucking conflict in the world, right, is never good for anyone. All right. Yeah, you could justify that. Oh, you know what? World War II was supposed to happen because the fucking Nazis, wanted to take over the world, or the Japanese, and also whatever the fuck, right? Yeah, but that's like 8 years ago, all right? We're talking about 2024, where we were supposed to be fucking much better in our own fucking senses, right? And here we are, fucking, waging these. We are not us Americans, but I'm glad we are not involved, to be honest with you. And I hope we don't get involved, because that's just a fucking just a shit show. Remember the fucking Middle East war that went on for like fucking 20 years? I think almost, right? Jesus fucking Christ. But in any case, so I don't want to fucking talk about that, but like I mean, I listen to news when I'm in the office. By the way, speaking of which, I'm downgrading my office, so we are moving. My IT guy told me that we are going to move on Thursday, which is good, right? Well, I mean, it's a dungeon downstairs without money, without any fucking windows. But then, it's a compromise, any money you can save. Um, because obviously, I took that fucking loan, COVID loan, and that's what's actually, just makes me think. It's like I have to basically just fucking work until, and even when half of my fucking feet are in my grave, right? But it is what it is. It is fucking what it is. I mean, I wish that I had another like fucking side business, right? A comedian or something where I could just sell tickets and like do comedy and like fucking, make like $20,000 a week, right? Well, I wish. Um, yeah, like what are these called? The unfulfilled dreams of like fucking not dreams, but unfulfilled like career, 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 or life, sort of like life, not desires, but like, I don't know. Did I want to be a comedian? Maybe I did, but I don't remember actually pursuing it. So, I'm like, I wish that somebody had told me. But again, and then people then would blame me, right? Man, you were old enough to understand it, right? But boy, that's the fucking, ifs and buts and fucking, I wish and this and that, and it's just like these are the fucking holes, like the fucking black holes that I think everybody goes through in their lives, right? Especially on the fucking, what do you call, on the career side, right? Uh, I mean, I don't have any issues with my engineering career, but I feel like I also wasted a lot of fucking time in New York, in New York City, and just this whole fucking place is is like a black hole of in itself in itself is a fucking black hole. And yeah, maybe I should have moved somewhere, but then I started my own fucking business, so I had to, I then now even, for the past 10, 11 years, now I can't really go anywhere because I have to basically start from fucking scratch. If I go to, let's say, Florida or somewhere else, I don't even have my engineering license there, so I don't know. A lot of times, we are in this bubble, we are in this fucking bubble, and we don't see outside because I think our brains get foggy unless and until it comes to a point where, like, for example, I don't want to be in fucking Northeast. I don't want to be in New Jersey. I don't want to be in fucking New York after, like, holidays, right? I don't want to be here in January, February, March. Those are the fucking worst months. It's cold, nobody's here, everybody's in some nicer place, right? Especially if you're older. So I think I'm actually getting to that point, where I see the promised land on the other side of the fog. No, I'm not saying that, but like, why do we have to spend our lives fucking miserable, unless it's something that, we can't do anything because unfortunately, we don't have any other fucking opportunity. Yeah, I mean, I would love to be in fucking, outside Miami, Fort Lauderdale, just stay there for 3 months, right? 4 months, right? And I was hoping that my wife would be with me, and then we would just spend that time down there, right? And it's also money, it's also fucking money, and then, if I'm not here, the business suffers, etc., etc. Even when I was on vacation, yeah, but at the same time, I had to spend time with my wife because obviously, you know, we want to be together. Um, and this whole fucking thing is just dragging on and on, and it's not a good situation for both of us, it's not a fucking good situation for both of us. So we basically we're just living a compromised life if you think about it. I mean, yeah, some people, including myself, I feel like, yeah, I'm also living a compromised life about my fucking career, right? At this point in time, that maybe I should have also done something on the side instead of fucking partying, you know? Maybe, like I said, like fucking, like stand-up comedy or some shit, right? Where you could actually bring your whatever desire, your talent, whatever the fuck it is, right? And then also, you make some fucking money because we all need that. Who doesn't need money? I mean, it's not a satisfaction, but it's a need, you know? So, without beating the fucking, dead horse here, but I don't know. I just, it's a hassle. It's a hassle here in New York to run a business and, like collect money, go after fucking clients and, they don't pay you and they drag your fucking feet, every excuse, whatever the fuck it is, right? And that actually makes you depressed, It makes you depressed, obviously, that you're doing all this fucking work and you don't get paid, and it's like, what do? You go to fucking collections, send people to fucking collections. I have no fucking idea, dude. And and you had to pay the fucking rent, you had to pay the fucking mortgage, whatever the hell it is, like, you had to pay the fucking bills, you had to support your other family, extended. And I mean, I can imagine now. I mean, I think about having a kid. My wife wants to have a kid too, but then it's just not easy here in America because you are basically paying for everything, you know. But of course, first and foremost, we have to be together. So I mean, what the fuck, dude? I yeah, so I watch those fucking games. Let's just stay a little positive, sir, because it just become my fucking podcast just becomes a rant, you know, rant about fucking life, whining and like fucking complaining, and that is true to an extent, that's what fucking life is, Even if you are, I don't know, Elon Musk or whatever, you don't have to worry about the money, but like the satisfaction in life, the degree of happiness. I think I mean, everybody is actually looking for that, And if you're struggling, obviously, that's not good. That's going to affect your life negatively. Struggling, I'm talking about like financial struggles, right? And then you are not with your significant other, and then that's also not good. It's like fucking double whammy, right? So, who I was listening to like before, Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, he talks about like he's a psychoanalyst, whatever the fuck he is, right? Um, See these fucking psychiatrists or whatever the fuck they're called, right? Psychologists. What they don't understand is that probably, and I'm not an expert on that fucking subject, but they don't understand that almost every problem that every man and woman has, right, in their lives, where they're depressed, or there's obviously an underlying reason for that, right? And this is exactly why I don't go to fucking therapy. You know why? Because okay, what's your problem today, huh? Well, why are you here? I'm like, I mean, if I knew, I know sort of like if I'm, like angry or if I'm fucking, worked up about something, I know that, for example, like if there's no money in the fucking bank, right? Then what do you do? What the fuck do you do? You go rob a fucking bank, right? So yeah, and then they would say, "Oh, okay, so what are you doing to actually? Oh, people are not paying you, so why don't you just hire somebody, an accountant, to go after them?" It's like, yeah, then I have to pay the fucking accountant. All right, it's like, I mean, it's not the same analogy as saying as like fucking, hire a fucking wolf to guard the fucking chickens at the chicken coop, right? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that it's not easy. It's not easy. Sometimes you just feel like fuck this, and I'm like, are you like fuck this? You know what? I've been doing this for 11 years, and I've been chasing these fucking clients, and I've been doing this and I'm doing that, and blah blah blah, right? And then at some point in time, then you're like, fuck this. Why am I doing this? I think that happened with me right after COVID because this is exactly why I started working for another architectural firm, right? Architectural engineering firm. But then that was even more fucking miserable. to be honest with you. You know, because I was working on my own fucking projects and working for them for full time. And they had their own fucking like what do you call you know way of dealing with their projects, and it was not good. I didn't actually get along well with their managers, you know. But in any case, so I uh I actually wanted to work for another company, so I don't have to fucking deal with this, dealing with the fucking accounting, dealing with the fucking going after the money, dealing with. But then working for another company, you just get a fucking salary, all right? And I'm not saying that I'm taking bonuses and this and that. No, no, it's just it's. I mean, you have to be responsible for your fucking company, right? So it also becomes a liability. And what happened through COVID? This is what I don't fucking understand. I should actually make phone calls to these fucking radio stations, right? That I'm listening to. See, see, these fucking politicians, right? In Washington, D.C., what they do is that they send all this fucking money to all these other countries to help them, you know. Why don't you help small businesses here in this fucking country, huh? Instead of sending that $10 billion to fucking Ukraine and all that, right? I mean, this is such a hypocrisy if you think about it. I mean, us who are running even after going through something like COVID, where a lot of people went under, it was such a depressing time. It was not a good time, all right? And some of us actually had to take fucking loans because we had to pay fucking office rents, their expense, their office expense, this expense, salaries, and this and that because there was no money, right? Why don't these fucking politicians help us? You know, help us in basically forgiving some of these loans, right? No, no, no. No. They'll send these fucking American taxpayer dollars to these fucking countries. That's the fucking hypocrisy. And without ranting too much, but that's the truth. And also look at the fucking immigration issues, right? I've been waiting for my wife to come here almost 2 years, right? Why don't they cut that down to like half? Why don't they hire more fucking staff or do something better in these fucking embassies, right? And this is the fucking bullshit hypocrisy of these politicians and everybody in the government. So nobody at the end of the day, I feel like, helps you. Except, yeah, you can have some close, good friends. You can talk to them, you can rant about your life, or do a podcast like I'm doing, ranting and this and that, right? But then at the end of the day, whatever you have to do in this fucking country, especially where there's no like really like social like networking and this and that, right? You have to basically just do everything for yourself. And whether you drag your life or whatever it is, man, you got to fucking do it. Yeah, if you listen to somebody like Joe Rogan and be like, man, listen, don't fucking bullshit. You are a man, and if you got hurt or if you were hurt or whatever, you fumble, but then you get up and and then you start all over, right? And I get that, but after some certain time, after certain fucking age, it's like you feel like what the fuck, what the fuck? I mean, I'm doing this every fucking day of my fucking life, but then I don't know, you know. That's the gazillion-dollar question, and I think uh, I'm not the only one in this fucking boat. Almost like every other person, every other professional, whatever you call, right? Except for maybe doctors and lawyers, they make a lot of fucking money. But even then, I think, you know. it's a hassle. Life is a hassle, man. Life is a fucking hassle, you know. Like if you ask me, would you ever want to come back to this fucking planet? I'm like, no. Even if you tell me that, oh, you know what, you're gonna come back as fucking Gautam, whatever, Buddha next time. No, no, no. That's even fucking worse, right? Or you're gonna be like the fucking rich guy when you come back, right? Oh, no, 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 I'm not. I'm not fucking coming back with this fucking planet ever. All right? Um, but you know, here we are. You know, here we are. We didn't come here, you know, with our own consent. We were just born here. You know? See, that's the whole fucking irony, right? We were born here. It's like, oh, you know what? I want to go to, I want to move to fucking Australia or New Zealand, right? Then you make an effort, right? You make an effort, whatever the fuck, you buy some land or whatever, you move your job over there, right? Then you move over there. At least you tried, right? At least you tried and realize, oh shit, you know what? Maybe England, not England, but New Zealand are fucking, you know, being a Kiwi or Australia, maybe, you know, it's a nice place, but I don't think this is for me, right? But that's something that's your own making, right? But in this fucking world isn't like that, you know? It's not, I'm not saying that I'm gonna fucking flee from this fucking world. It's so miserable, but well, it is, life can be miserable, you know? So what's positive? Positive is I'm still fucking alive. I can have a corona. I can have a fucking, you know, podcast. I'm listening to Joe Rogan. You know, I just had my, you know, Spanish goat and rice, right? I don't know. And then what? Then the darkness. No. Uh, I think at least for somebody like me, you know, for me, yeah, I mean, because I complain a lot. I complain a lot. Some of those complaints are genuine, obviously, right? Because it wasn't easy coming to this country and living here right after September 11th. You know, it was not a good time, you know. But especially in New York and this area, but obviously, you know, there was unconditional love as much as there was, you know, hatred and this and all that bullshit, right? So that's how I've survived, you know. But I think um, without, you know, running my fucking what do you call the life cycle for the past 22 years, all I'm saying is that the Western world is a lonely place. You know, it's a fucking lonely place. It can make you even lonelier. Uh, and it can make you get worked up and, you know, and all these things. But then again, you know, without going back to the same discussion, but then what's in the east, where I come from, at least we have, you know, there's family life, right? But then there's also too much, you know, just like there's no fucking personal freedom and just the in between. So there's the in between, you know, is what, you know, I think at this point in time, after I went back to the mountains, got married, I'm looking for, you know, some life that's in between, you know, in terms of like lifestyle, you know, in between the East and the West, right? Where we have freedom, obviously freedom we can't, you know, compromise on, but then at the same time, you know, the good things about the East, where I come from, the mountains, family values, you know, all that, right? I don't know. Not a lot of people like me, you know, because I think I'm also a loose cannon sometimes, you know, and I just don't, you know, hit those breaks, and sometimes, you know, I just fall into those fucking abysses, you know, and it just like, you know, what am I doing? What the fuck is, you know, what do you call it is life, and you know, and then I'm with my wife for like a month and not even a month, and then I'm not with her, and you know, And I don't know. Some, like life can actually make you tired. That's what it is. Life can make you fucking tired, man. You know. And then what you need is a 9 hour sleep. That's what I feel like. But you gotta keep moving. You gotta keep fucking moving. You got to do your thing, whatever you are doing in terms of your career, your relationship, your otherworldly life, and you can't just like fucking say, "Oh, I'm just too fucking depressed. I don't want to do this because these people are not paying me." Sometimes, yeah, I mean, I have actually I've gone through that a lot in my life, and then especially like my own fucking loneliness because I didn't really have any proper relationship and all that before I got married, and it was not a good time. Some of it was my own making, and then the society here Northeast. It's not a good place for relationships, to be honest with you. I mean, if you guys are young out there in America, you should be down in Texas, young and single. You should be down in Texas or Florida, all right? Uh, and without like sounding like a guy who's gonna give piece of advice to people without experiencing that himself. Well, I'm telling you, that's why I'm telling you because I didn't, I should somebody, yeah, maybe I mean I should have realized that. But I care less now because I have a lovely and caring wife and I love her. But the career obviously is always, especially if you're running your own fucking business, it's always just a headache, it's a headache. And it just becomes too much of a headache actually. And I'm not saying that I hate my job or my company or what I'm doing, but sometimes it just becomes a headache. Especially when you're not rewarded for what you're doing, and then it's not good. It's not good for any profession. I think it's not only my own profession of engineering, any profession. And then at least now I'm married, but a lot of us, I'm not saying that all marriages are like hunky and dory or fine and perfectly like fucking couples made for each other and heavens and fucking stars, and I'm not talking about that, all right? Obviously, there are differences. You had to compromise. Everybody has to fucking compromise. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? I mean, if you're too idealistic, narcissistic, then you should just marry yourself and not even marry, not be in a fucking relationship, right? So that's what it is. And I mean, I guess like looking at my own life right now, where I am, uh, obviously I'm not in peace, tranquility until my wife comes home. She's here, and that's obviously there's a big factor for me, in terms of our relationship. And then, once she's here, then I'm a little peaceful in my life, and then, I can focus on other things, no, 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 no. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if something like blows up, hopefully not, if something blows up, between now and fucking elections, and it's not good for this country, it's not good for us Americans. I mean, I'm more American than any other fucking genre because I've been here for 22, 23 years now, you know? And yeah, at the same time, I appreciate the freedom and, and everything we have here, despite, the loneliness and despite, we come home as like fucking cogs in the wheel, right? Every fucking night, you know. And at least we have that freedom here, that freedom. Uh, but at the same time, I feel like right now, like politics, which I don't want to fucking talk about, all right? But right now, like everything is so politically charged in this country that that there is a chance of things blowing up. I mean, I'm not talking about like fucking blowing up. I'm talking about like fucking some shit happens, between now and fucking elections, and then I don't know. And then what? Another fucking COVID? Hopefully not. COVID obviously was sort of like a fucking, it was something that was mismanaged. Listen, I don't want to fucking talk about that, all right? So fuck that too. Fuck COVID. It gives you fucking PTSD, And right now, like, if you ask me, um, and I'm not gonna fucking talk about what I'm gonna do the next 6 months, 4 months. I have no fucking idea, all right? I'm just working and I'm just like, uh, going to travel again in 3 months. I don't know. We were supposed to go somewhere, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to fucking go into the details, but whatever. I mean, it's just a fucking disaster we went through, me and my wife, and again, that also like the traveling itself is also like tiring, especially traveling long distances, long flights. And then I have this fucking sciatica, which is not going anywhere, and I'm not really doing anything to be honest with you for this fucking sciatica. And I'm supposed to get a fucking injection that would basically numb the fucking pain, and I'm supposed to do the exercises, right? I'm not doing any of that. I don't know. I just feel like it is what it is. And actually, I was dreaming about golfing last night, and I haven't played golf in like 6 months, and that actually sucks. That actually I miss golfing, to be honest with you. I really miss that part, of life. At least, now fucking summer is over, you know. At least that was like sort of my, hobby. But now, when weekend comes, I think about the weekend. What am I going to do? Should I just even like hiking? I used to hike. If you have listened to my past podcasts, I would go to fucking, like Delaware River Gap or go upstate New York, Anthony's Nose, whatever, right? And then my wife would be on the phone, and then I would wish in my thinking that she would be there, and then we'd go hiking together. It's just all these things, Uh, and now I can't even do that by myself. Forget, my wife being here in this summer. I was hoping she would be here this summer, but she's not, obviously. And then, I don't have a lot of patience for this fucking world, And then my fucking lawyer, she didn't give me the proper information in the beginning, and that just also sort of like makes me, like blame my own self. Why didn't I do my fucking homework and this and that, right? But in any case, all right, so it is what it is. What has gone, what has happened. I don't want to fucking talk about that. And I think just make peace, I'm trying to make peace with all the past, everything in my life, because remember, past is a fucking bitch, including your childhood memories, everything is because everything is in your fucking head. You think about those things and then yes, somehow your teenage years actually shape your fucking life, you know? And that's why sometimes, I have a lot of disagreements with my dad. Uh, and obviously he's not a psychologist. I'm not either. But especially if you're a guy and if you don't have a lot of fucking, closeness in your teen years with your father, then, that also can actually affect your life down the road, and that's what I feel like I had, daddy issues. Uh, but in any case, so without like, fucking, what do you call tur turning my podcast into like self fucking psychoanalysis, but what I'm saying is that as much as every one of us, I think we have to just make peace with the past and just fucking move on, whether it's your own life or, your loved ones' lives that has affected you. And I feel like I've just like I mean, again, just when I think about the past, it just makes me tiring, to be honest with you. That's what I feel like when I look at my fucking past. Not that I've been, uh, a restless. Yeah, yeah, I was restless when I was fucking young and all that, right? But but I don't know. I think the biggest thing is that we have to make peace with ourselves, and we have to love ourselves. Is that what that's for? And yeah, making peace with the fucking past. That's a big one, And my cousin is calling me. Um, but making peace with the past is very important, man. I mean, how do you do that? You take a pill that actually basically makes you forget your fucking past, and then you also forget your own fucking name, right? Don't recognize people. Wasn't there a fucking movie about that? That, you just forget your past. You take that fucking pill and it makes you forget your past, especially the bad one, bad memories, right? I think that's what we all need. Um, but what else is going on? I mean, I talk about how us humans are going to live in some near future, right? Let's say that I'm still like a cog in the wheel, right? Am I going to be like fucking that robot, humanoid robot from fucking Blade Runner 2.0? Somehow we all are like that, either whatever, we just make peace with life, make peace with life. It is what it is, man. I decided to live my life by myself, Then you come home and what? In 10 years, I think they're gonna have like fucking like robots. They're gonna do your dishes, right? Probably also give you some shoulder, some glove, and I'm not talking about like sex robots, but maybe who the fuck knows, right? For people who don't want to deal with real humans, or somehow that becomes a normality. I think Japan is the worst I heard. I mean, nobody wants to like even have relationships and all that. I have no fucking idea. Maybe it's just what do you call misconception. I have no fucking idea. But the birth rates are worse. I think I beat this topic to death last time when I talked about the extinction of human race because of no children. That's a real one, to be honest with you. And I mean, we are pretty much biological machines, so we have to produce other biological machines as our children in order to keep going, right? But then, there are people who are like, ah, we don't give a fuck. I mean, I can't have children. I don't want to have children. I mean, in any case, I don't want to fucking talk about that either. But I'm just saying, right? But what I'm really saying is if you are living by yourself in your 40s and 50s, right? 10 years from now, let's say in 2030s, right? What are you gonna have like fucking robots all over the fucking place? Huh? Are they gonna basically come up with a pill where you live in a fucking virtual world? Or these machines, all these phones and all that, they're going to be too now. They are too much integrated into our lives. They have already taken over our fucking lives. You can't live without them. And then they basically just control us. Means like the fucking AI machine, they just control us, right? Um, for the better, hopefully, right? But then is that going to do anything as far as like, for example, like at least half the people in this country, I think they come home to a lonely fucking apartment, including myself now, right? Uh, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Um, I don't think the robots or whatever, machines we're gonna produce, not produce or make, right? To help us um with our daily chores and day-to-day life and etc etc, right? They're not going to give us that fucking emotional, what do you call the emotional connection, the support. 'Cause I think that's what is the most important, and that is the part how and why we are humans. Otherwise, there's so many fucking angels in the fucking heaven that pray to the alien, right? You get my point. But to be human is the most difficult part. To live a human life, I think, is the most difficult part in this fucking world. You know, um, because you have to deal with a lot of things. You have to deal with your own fucking life, emotions. And you get my point. And then you realize, oh, hold on a second, wait a minute. I mean, is this fucking what it is? I mean, am I going to try to find something, right? Some sort of a better meaning, try to find answers to larger than life questions, you know, and then you then fall into that fucking black hole, right? And then I think at the end of the day, then nobody cares. That I think that's what it becomes. People who actually think about those things, because I used to be one of them, right? Because I fucking read Rumi, you know, the Persian poet, Turkish poet, actually, he's Turkish. Back in fucking when I was in my college, back in my second year of college, I read that. I'm like, oh, I see where this guy is coming from. He knows this fucking world, and it's and but here's the problem, right? You can't be fucking roomy without like going through the stages of life. Unless again, I talk about this all the time. Unless you just become a fucking shaman, I already know this world. I mean, I don't want to fucking deal with it. I don't want to have kids. I don't want to have a wife. I mean, it's okay. I can live. And then I'm just going to find, I'm going to get into those fucking other realms and dimensions, right? If that's the case, then that's a whole different story. But that's very hard to do, you know? And especially in the pressure from the fucking society, oh, oh, she or oh, he is with with his significant other. They were having a great time. They're going to fucking Bahamas. They're going there. They're, oh my God, they went to fucking, Europe, Alps of fucking Switzerland, and and then you become jealous, right? I'm like, oh my God, I don't even have a girlfriend. I don't even have anybody. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. What the fuck am I doing? And the social fucking pressure, you know, and that's why, I think that's why we need to have that like fucking anchor in our lives, Yeah, okay, well, if they are doing that, doesn't mean that I have to do that. I should do what I like to do. Uh, yeah, I would love to be in fucking Alps, but then what the fuck am I gonna do by myself there in Sahara? In any case, so the greater meaning, the greater good for the universe. I mean, I'm not really doing anything as far as, like any, like anything other than, I'm just talk about my own life. Yeah, I did some work in my parents' house in Islamabad. At least I had that solar installed, 6 kilowatts, which is basically hopefully would be up and running in a month. And then I did some shed work there too. And obviously my wife is at the forefront of all this, and I had to thank her. And we're doing this for obviously this our second home, and also for my parents. They're old. And yeah, sometimes I get angry and I go into the fucking past about my extended family's lives and all that. But I think I'm at a point where just I want to fucking live my own fucking life, with my own significant other, and that's it. And then I just want to focus on things that I need to focus on, work, keep my company stronger, and then travel. Travel, I want to travel as well, but I don't want to fucking travel alone. Because I felt that back in 2021 when I went to fucking Vegas, right? I went to Vegas and then I took a fucking plane to go to Western Grand Canyon, and then I not a plane, but I took a helicopter ride, right? And everybody was there with their family, and I was the only one. And then there was a couple who actually on the other side we landed, right? I felt like they took a sort of like took a pity on me. And at that time I was not drinking anything. I had a seven. I was just taking a fucking break from drinking for 6, 7 months. And this was after fucking COVID, right? So they knew that I was alone, and I was lonely, and that sort of like they kind of like sheltered me. And they were talking to me, and I just didn't want to fucking talk to him. And at that point I realized, what the fuck, man, why am I like, I'm not like young, I'm old, why am I traveling by myself? Yeah, I mean that I felt that, I felt that, not that I felt that desperation, but I just felt that, in my fucking, what do you call, my psyche. I'm like, oh yeah, everybody here, is with their significant other or with their families or whatever. Right? So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm afraid of like fucking traveling by myself, but I'm married now. It's better if I travel with my wife. In any case, all right, everyone. So it's already 50 minutes. Is there anything else I want to talk about on this fucking podcast? Um, Any shows, movies? I don't know. I haven't watched anything except for what the fuck I was watching. I don't even fucking remember, to be honest with you. I haven't watched anything since like Friday night. Um, so let's see. Tonight I'm going to basically just watch something, and then I'm going to basically I'm going to go to fucking sleep because I think I think I have sort of learned to go to sleep a little early, which is good because I have a lot of fucking anxiety, a lot of fucking anxiety and sleeplessness, issues, and and obviously it's not good, and I think a lot of us have that problem. Um, and obviously, that affects, the whole fucking day. If you don't have enough sleep, 6, 7 hours, right, at least, then you are like, I get angry in the morning if I don't have enough sleep, and if my, then it just kills my whole fucking mood, So that's why I try to go to sleep early now as much as I can, except the fucking weekend, obviously, it screws up the whole fucking week, But in any case, so life is what I just described, I think, in my podcast. This is fucking life, I think. You can basically, paint it in with a different paint or different color, but I think this is the life almost every one of us lives, be a man or woman or however many fucking genders, right? We live here, and I think just like we should try to like not be in the fucking past and just try to live life with some fucking degree of happiness. But then, when you're dealing with these things in life, right? And you're trying to be positive as much as you can, right? With what I'm going through right now, with my wife's visa situation and all that, right? And then, people not paying us and, all these things, it just negatively affect you. So you have to just like say to yourself, yeah, man, this is fucking life. This is part of life. So let's just accept it. Let's just fucking accept it and then, work on it to make it actually better. Whatever. If I need to call people so they can pay me, of course, I will have to call them, right? Instead of like being depressed and, not do that. Um, and then the other thing I think is that we have to focus on things which are more important in life than like bullshitting and like uh digressing from real issues in life. And the last thing I would say, not that I'm going to fucking pass the fuck out. I do want to pass the fuck out, to be honest with you. I had that nice Spanish goat chivo with rice, it makes me sleep, it's already making me sleepy, which is good. I can just go to sleep early. So in any case, I have to call my cousin back. I know he's also going through some shit. Every one of us, I think, especially when we get into our 50s, and especially if you don't have your health 100%. I mean, the sciatica also, I think it just affecting my brain. I feel like as it has a nerve, you know, issue. And I just feel like, this is what actually has actually made me felt the mortality of life for the first time in my life, and which is actually sort of good because then it just makes me think that, hey man, listen, you're not going to be here forever, so just think about that, okay? Just think about that, and then just like try not to be too much fucking angry. Yeah, and yeah, life is a fucking bitch sometimes, but and it's hard for me because look, for me especially, and many of you, maybe you feel the same way, who have been living their lives by themselves, and life is not easy, man. Life is not fucking easy. Life is not easy to just come home and talk to these fucking couches and talk to these fucking walls, right? But that's why you have, you need to have, some close, good friends, close ones, which, you know, and then you can, whom you can trust and, and hang out with, once in a while, have a laugh, have a fucking laugh in life, man. You know, when was the last time I had a laugh in my fucking life? I don't know. I just feel like I'm losing all that. I don't know. This fucking sciatica, and I can't, I'm dreaming about fucking golf in my fucking dreams this morning, right? In any case, so all right, everyone, it's already 56 minutes, so I think I'm gonna close my podcast. I don't have anything else to talk about, to be honest with you. I mean, alien life. What the fuck am I gonna talk about? Alien life. There's no fucking aliens. Nobody has contacted us. Maybe we are the fucking aliens. All right. So we are going to become aliens. That's what it is. That's the what the fucking problem, Lord. In any case, so again, I assume you all are having a great start of the week. I will talk to you all next week.